Kian 12 sits at a wooden table in a dimly lit room, reading an old, tattered book. His mother, Maria, prepares breakfast while his father, Aaron, sharpens tools by the fireplace.
Kian, it's time to get ready for work. The crops won't tend to themselves.
Just a minute, Mom. I'm reading about these explorers who climbed the tallest mountains. They crossed oceans, too.
Books are one thing. Reality's another. There's no time for dreaming when you've got work to do. Stick to what's safe.
Kian slowly closes the book, his fingers lingering on the pages. He sighs and places it on the table.
But I know I can do something more, Dad. I just feel it.
Everyone feels like that at your age, son. But life has a way of showing us where we belong.
Kian runs up the hillside, his breath heavy but determined. He reaches the top of a cliff, his secret spot. From here, he watches eagles flying high above the village, their wings spread wide against the backdrop of the mountains.
One day, I'll be up there too.
Sorry 12's, Kian's best friend, appears, catching up to him.
Still watching the eagles, huh? You're always up here alone.
They're free, sorry. Nothing holds them back. I want to be like them.
People aren't eagles, Kian. We've got responsibilities. Besides, no one's ever climbed those mountains before.
That doesn't mean it can't be done.
Kian stands in the village square, surrounded by a small group of villagers. He's animated, speaking about his dream to climb the tallest mountain. The villagers exchange doubtful glances.
Climb the mountain? Kian, you're just a boy. No one in this village has ever done that. It's dangerous. Foolish, even.
But no one's tried. How can we know unless we try?
The villagers shake their heads, laughing softly. Kian's father, Aaron, approaches, overhearing the conversation.
Don't fill his head with nonsense, Kian. You've got a good life here. There's no need to risk it for some fantasy.
Kian's face falls, but he looks up at the towering mountain in the distance. The seed of doubt in his heart is overshadowed by the spark of determination in his eyes. Kian sits alone outside, the stars twinkling above. He holds a small, hand-drawn map of the mountain, planning his journey.
I can't stay here forever. If I don't try, I'll never know what's out there.
He hears footsteps behind him and turns to see Sari, carrying a small lantern.
You're really going to do it, aren't you?
Kian nods, not needing to say a word.
You're stubborn, Kian. Just promise me you'll come back.
I will.
Kian, with a small pack slung over his shoulders, stands at the base of the mountain. The sky is painted with the first light of dawn. He takes a deep breath and begins his ascent. As Kian climbs, the terrain becomes more treacherous. He stumbles at times, but each fall only fuels his determination.
I can do this. I just have to keep moving.
Kian reaches a plateau and collapses, exhausted. His hands are scraped, and his clothes torn from the journey. He looks down at the village far below, tiny and distant.
Maybe they were right. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I should turn back.
Kian closes his eyes, leaning against a rock, but as he sits in silence, he hears the cry of an eagle soaring above him. He opens his eyes, watching the eagle glide effortlessly through the sky.
No, I've come this far. I won't give up now.
After days of climbing, Kian finally reaches the summit. The view is breathtaking. Endless snow-capped mountains stretching into the horizon. He stands at the peak, looking down at the village that now seems so small. A tear of joy rolls down his cheek.
I made it.
The wind whips around him as he raises his arms to the sky, his heart filled with a sense of freedom and accomplishment. Kian returns to the village, weary but triumphant. The villagers gather, astonished at his return. His father, Aaron, steps forward, his expression a mixture of pride and disbelief.
You really did it. You climbed the mountain.
Kian nods, his eyes filled with quiet pride.
It wasn't easy, but sometimes you have to trust yourself when no one else does.
Kian stands in the square, now surrounded by villagers who look at him with newfound respect. The young children stare at him in awe, while the older villagers nod in approval. Even the doubters seem inspired.
If Kian can climb that mountain, maybe we've been holding ourselves back too.
We've all been too afraid to take risks. He's shown us what's possible.
Kian, who smiles humbly, Sari steps forward, standing beside him.
You've changed this village, Kian.
I didn't change the village. I just showed everyone what we're capable of when we believe in ourselves.
Kian returns to his secret spot, where he once watched the eagles. This time, he sits with Sari by his side. They watch as an eagle soars high above, its wings spread wide.
So, what's next?
Kian grins, a spark of adventure still burning in his eyes.
Who knows? But whatever it is, I'm ready.
The eagle, soaring into the endless sky, symbolizing Kian's limitless future.